The most striking thing when you arrive in Monaco is the density of its urban landscape. And yet, if you look closely on the roofs, between the buildings, greenery is everywhere. Not to mention the gardens, some of which are world-renowned.
That's certainly true of the Princess Grace Rose Garden, which was completely revamped for its 30th anniversary. As soon as you enter this garden, you cannot resist the bewitching fragrances. There's enough to keep you busy. More than 6,000 rose trees share the 5,000 square metre space. The visitors get as close as possible to the flowers.
We've created between the beds small lanes that meander through the roses, and we covered these lanes with recycled materials. They're natural peach stones.
The Rose Garden is a certified ecological vegetal space.
We don't use chemicals anymore, we use mostly biological allies. So ladybirds, syrphid flies, spiders. As for disease treatments, we use homeopathy.
This goes for all the public gardens and spaces in the Principality. And to treat the tall palm trees without blocking the traffic, drones fly to the gardeners' rescue. Garden culture developed along with tourism in Monaco at the beginning of the 20th century. Inaugurated in 1933, the exotic garden owes its creation to Monaco gardener Augustin Gasteau's passion for succulent plants.
They're plants with an enlarged organ which stores water.
Today, the exotic garden is managed by another enthusiast, botanist Jean-Marie Solichon.
We still have some of Augustin Gasteau's plants. That's what makes the exotic gardens special. These plants that are more than 100 years old. These pretty golden cactuses are what the French call mother-in-law's cushions. It's true it's not a welcoming plant at all. Our American colleagues are a bit kinder, as they call these plants golden barrels, which is far more poetic indeed.
The exotic garden also has a mission of botanical conservation and shares vegetal materials with other gardens all over the world. We meet Jean-Jacques Pinotti again in another exotic garden, the Japanese garden. It was created from scratch in the early 90s under the tutelage of the Japanese garden designer Yasuo Beppu.
The garden designer Beppu made a point in following and applying the precepts taught in Kyoto's schools. It's the realm of myths, legends. There are religious references.
Everything from the shape of plants to the layout of rocks and stones was calibrated down to the last millimetre.
The garden designer wanted to integrate into his garden a reference to the Mediterranean and to Monaco, and, if possible, an old tree to give the notion of old age, of tradition, of the passing of knowledge through generations in Japan and in Japanese gardens, which is extremely vivid. A Japanese person who visits this garden feels almost at home.
Everybody in Monaco has a responsibility for the greenery. Real estate developers have a legal obligation to treat roof terraces as gardens, encouraging the Principality's residents to help with the greening of the city. That was the case for this family.
It's my mother-in-law, Brigitte, who created it from scratch. She designed it all. Everything's natural. For example, we have organic tomatoes and grapes. The plants are all local. We have olive trees, many cacti and so on that require little care, and gardeners come to look after them every 2 or 3 months. It's really important to have an outdoor space in Monaco to escape all this urbanization. It's in this dream setting that our 2015 series ends. Gastronomy, sea extension, gardens. You can watch all the Monaco Life episodes on our website. See you soon on Euronews.